History for the Hammers last night as we became the first ever side to win 6 games out of 6 in the Europa Conference League group stage, and it was pretty easy. Not the game last night, I mean that was pretty easy, but the group stage overall, 6 wins out of 6, and I have to say, I think David Moyes has navigated this group stage absolutely perfectly. Yes, there was a couple of not so great moments. We were 1-0 down to FCSB at the London Stadium at half time, but we went on to win the game 3-1 in the end, pretty comfortably. We had to bring on Paqueta, Declan Rice and Scamacca to ensure wins. But that's fine, that's why they're on the bench, that's what they're there for. 6 wins out of 6, I think is brilliant actually, I think it's a really good achievement for us. And we don't play again in this competition until March. And hopefully we will reap the rewards of winning the group stage. Between now and then, it's a long time, I know there's a World Cup, there's a lot of league football to be played. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can rack up the points and when the last 16 does come round, we'll be safe in the Premier League, relegation won't be a worry, and we can field our strongest 11 in this competition, something we've not had to do yet. Moyes has been able to heavily rotate his side for every single group stage game. Last 16, I want to see our strongest, our best 11 in every single game, because we can win this competition, and this is, I've been adamant from day one, I won't change my mind, this is our best chance of getting European football next season. And forget about the fact that it would give us Europa League football. The winners of this competition get Europa League football. Forget that for just 1 second. It's a trophy. It is a trophy. It would be a fantastic achievement for the club. But what happens next then? Well, because we've won the group alongside this lot, so there you go, they've got all the group stage winners of the Europa Conference League. So you've got AZ Alkmaar there, you've got Nice there, you've got Villareal, ourselves. We become the seeded teams. These 8 clubs head straight into the last 16 of the competition, with the draw taking place on the 24th of February. So our involvement in this competition ceases for quite a while. But as you know, there's another round. There's a knockout round between now and then, and the draw for that takes place on Monday. So a little bit of interest perhaps for us on Monday. And that will take place between the unseeded teams, and let's take a look at them. So first of all, we've got the teams that came runner-up in the Conference League group stages, including Anderlecht, of course, who came second in our group. Fiorentina also, perhaps surprisingly, finished second, as did Ghent. We've also got the likes of Partizan in there as well, so some decent teams in there. They all finished second. They've gone into the knockout stages of this competition. They will play one of these teams. These are the sides that finished third in the Europa League. So these 8 sides, and the big one there being Lazio of Italy. We've also got the Bulgarian giants Ludogorets. We've got Braga from Portugal in there. Some decent sides in there. They're dropping down into the Europa Conference League. So on Monday, when the draw is made, these teams, these Europa League third place sides, one of them will play one of these that you've just seen, the runners up. So they'll play each other in the knockout stages, and the winners will progress into the last 16. These will remain unseeded. So when this knockout draw is done on Monday, the winners of the ties will remain the unseeded team, and they will face one of the seeded lot, which is the winners of the group, which include West Ham. So West Ham, when the draw is made, we will not play one of these teams you see on your screen. We will all be kept apart. West Ham will not face Villareal. We will not face AZ Alkmaar in the last 16 draw. But not only that, now this doesn't really relate to West Ham per se, but on Monday and in the last 16, you cannot be drawn against somebody from the same football association. So there's no other English side, so we don't have to worry about that. But here, as you can see there, you've got Fiorentina, who came runners up and obviously dropping down from the Europa League. You've got Italy, you've got Lazio from Italy. They will not face each other. Lazio will not be drawn against Fiorentina on Monday. And there's a few countries now with more than one entry because of the teams dropping down. So it'll get a little bit semi-complicated, I guess. But what I have to say is when you look at those sides, let's take a look at them one by one again. The Europa League dropouts. Lazio is a bit of a worry. They're having a decent enough season in their in Serie A. Trabzonspor at the bottom, they're doing okay. I think they're about 6th place in the Turkish league at the minute. Braga is a decent outfit, but bar Lazio, I have to be honest with you, and this might come back to bite me in the bum. Bar Lazio, there's nobody that I look at and think, oh no, I dread playing them. And to be fair, I don't dread playing Lazio, I relish it. I mean, what a game that would be. And then we take a look at those that finish runner-up in the Europa Conference League that's going through. Again, Fiorentina, a decent enough team, but I'd expect us to beat them. You know, you've got Bal there, you've got Anderlecht. I mean, look how easy we made it look against Anderlecht. It's not difficult. And then you've got the winners of the group stage. Villareal, the Giants, aren't they? They've lost Unai Emery, of course, who's joined Aston Villa. I don't know anything about the person that's gone in, the former Barcelona manager. I don't know enough about him. But surely it can't be a good thing for Villareal losing a manager. However, they are sort of... it's just in the club's culture, in the club's DNA to win European trophies. So I don't think, while it might make a small difference in the short term, I think by the time we come round to March time, I would expect the manager to be settled in, up and running, and Villareal to remain one of the heavy favourites for the competition. You've got Istanbul there, who are having a good season in the Turkish league. AZ Alkmaar is having a really good season over in the Netherlands. A couple of weeks ago, though, they were top, they're third now, which is, you know, nothing to dismiss, but it's hard really, because when you look at some of these teams, you're looking at the form of their domestic leagues. We don't play again until March. Things are going to drastically change between now and then. There's a January transfer window in there as well. Any of these teams, including West Ham, could lose one or two of their best players to transfers, to injuries. We could buy one or two players that comes in and makes a huge difference if they're not already cup tied, of course. But it's hard to gauge which sides we want to avoid and which sides we don't want to avoid. We'll deal with that when the draw happens on the 24th of February. But at the minute, right now, I don't fear any of those sides. I don't. I haven't feared... when I do these types of videos saying we need to win this competition, more people are starting to agree with me, I feel. But in the comments at the start of the season, I felt a lot of people disagreed with me. But I think they maybe come around to it a little bit. But there will still be a large part of people watching this thinking, nonsense, we're not winning this. Forget it. Have you seen how we're playing? But this is where I still think David Moyes' football, in terms of the style and tactics, it suits these competitions. Keeping it tight and trying to nick a goal away from home works in these competitions. We saw it last season. It's there. When we beat Lyon, when we beat Sevilla. Going to Sevilla and only losing 1-0 turned out in a weird way to be a good result, because we took it back to our place and it was still game on and we went on to win. That happened because of David Moyes' tactics. So yes, the football isn't always pretty. Yes, it can be frustrating, but it works in this competition. And that's why I'm relatively... Actually I am. I was going to say I'm relatively optimistic. I'm not. I'm relatively confident that we can go, that we will go on and win this competition. I'll be surprised. You know, like I said, look at the teams that we can get drawn against. Just for one last time, right? We might face one of these. All right, fine. I'm all right with that. But we could also face one of these. Again, this lot, right, context, this lot finished second in the group in the Europa Conference League. It's, you know, we're going to finish a team that either finish runner-up in the Conference League or finish third in the Europa League. Regardless of who they are, regardless of the team, why would I be worried? It's a side that's either... Look how easy we made the Europa League look last season. We're waiting to finish a team that finished third in that groups, or a team that finished runner-up in the Conference League, and look how easy we made the Conference League look this season. I cannot get worried. I can't. You know, listen, there's some really good clubs in there. Like I said, everything will change between March. There might be a side that goes on a brilliant bit of run coming into the draw, and I'll want to avoid them. But even Villareal, I remember when the draw was made last season and we got Sevilla. I'll be honest with you, I went, oh no, that's the one. Sevilla were the one team I wanted to avoid at all costs, and we got them. And I was a bit disheartened. I thought, oh, we won it. We beat them, we beat Lyon. And I know Frankfurt beat us, but like I've spoken before, again, not everybody agrees. There's mitigation to that to some extent. We can win this competition, and we need to win this competition. I want European football next season because I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed that group stages, and actually it's been quite important. Now there is sort of like a contradictory here, because if we didn't have this competition, you could argue our Premier League form might be a bit better. We've had longer on the training ground, some players wouldn't be injured, blah, 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 blah. They, perhaps league-wise, would be doing a little bit better. But for years I've sat here and said I would take 17th if it meant winning a cup. I can't then change my mind when there's a possibility of finishing 15th and winning a cup. But this I've loved being in this competition, and like I said at the end of the review last night, we have used this really, really wisely. We've used it for Agbona's rehab. We're now using it for Aguerd. Aguerd's now had lots of minutes, and I say lots, 2 strong games for Nathan Aguerd. He might be on the bench for Sunday. He might feature against Leicester. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll only play 90 minutes against Blackburn, then he goes off to the World Cup. But it doesn't matter. It's part of him getting ready for the World Cup. And, you know, David Moyes has spoken about why the World Cup's good for Nathan Aguerd. That it means it comes back to us, match sharp, ready to go. We've used this competition to see Flynn Downs. Flynn Downs has grabbed his opportunity in this competition with both hands. Again, last night I thought he was fantastic in the first half. Quieter in the second, but a really strong performance from him. He's now established himself as a genuine selection choice for the Premier League week in, week out now. And I'll do my preview later with Gonzo for the Crystal Palace game. I wouldn't be surprised if we're both wanting to see Flynn Downs start in that match. We've used it to give the likes of Manuel Lanzini minutes. That goals last night from Pablo Fornals could be vital. Come Sunday, we need a goal, 20 minutes to go. You're not going to dismiss playing Pablo. You're going to look at Fornals and say, well, you've got a couple Thursday night. But also, Moyes has seen 2 games now of Pablo Fornals playing in that number 10 role, and he's played well in that number 10 role as well. So let's get him on the pitch off the wing. Do not put him on the wing now. I think we've used this competition brilliantly to give minutes to the senior players that need it. You know, without this, we would never see Ollie Scarles. We might never see him again. But as the commentators kept saying last night, Scarles will never ever forget last night now. He's done it now. He's played for West Ham. Nobody can take that away from him last night as well. Mubama. It's a Mubama goal, right? I don't care what UEFA say. It's a Mubama goal. He's never going to forget that. This competition, I think, has been brilliant. And like I said, while the Premier League could have been better, I've welcomed this competition as a distraction because I get a bit fed up feeling a bit negative. I've been feeling quite negative about some of the Premier League games, about some of the results, the performances, the tactics. I've been feeling a bit, I have been. But this competition, in between those games, I've been able to go, right, okay, here we go. Now I can look forward to watching this. And we've won them all. We've won every single one of them. I think I've enjoyed the season a lot less without this competition. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. That's how the draw works. West Ham will face one of those 16 sides. The draw will be made at the end of February. We'll play the games in March. And hopefully, we can go on and win this competition. We're certainly good enough, in my opinion anyway. However, if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it by clicking the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat. We hit 28,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody that's, a lot of you have been here for a very long time. I really appreciate it. I'll be back later tonight with the Crystal Palace preview. Catch you then.